Welcome to our video about Atomic Habits by James Clear, the book that could change your life forever. If you're tired of feeling stuck, frustrated, or unmotivated, and you're ready to make a real change, then this book is for you. In Atomic Habits, Clear offers a practical, science-backed approach to habit formation, showing you how to create lasting change by focusing on the small, incremental improvements that add up over time. Whether you're looking to lose weight, improve your finances, or build stronger relationships, the principles in this book can help you get there. And the best part is, you can start applying them right away. But don't take our word for it. Get the book for yourself using the link in the description below, and start taking control of your life today. This could be the beginning of your greatest journey yet. So let's dive into first chapter. Chapter 1. The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. In this chapter, Clear introduces the concept of atomic habits, which he defines as small, incremental changes that compound over time. He argues that while many people focus on making big changes in their lives, it's actually the small changes that lead to significant progress in the long run. Clear explains that habits are the building blocks of our lives and that our habits shape our identity. He points out that the habits we repeat over time become part of our subconscious programming, affecting how we see ourselves and what we believe we are capable of achieving. Clear offers an analogy of a plane taking off, explaining that in the beginning, the plane needs a lot of energy to get off the ground. However, once it's airborne, it requires less energy to keep moving forward. Similarly, building good habits requires a lot of energy and effort in the beginning, but over time, the habits become easier to maintain and require less effort. Clear emphasizes that the key to building effective habits is to focus on the process rather than the outcome. He argues that by focusing on the process, we can enjoy the journey of self-improvement rather than being fixated on a particular result. Finally, Clear highlights the importance of creating positive feedback loops to reinforce good habits. He explains that positive feedback helps us feel good about our progress, which motivates us to continue making small improvements. Overall, in this chapter, Clear lays the foundation for the rest of the book by introducing the concept of atomic habits and emphasizing the importance of small, incremental changes over time. Chapter 2. How your habits shape your identity. In this chapter, Clear explores the relationship between habits and identity. He argues that our habits are not just actions we take, but they also shape how we see ourselves. He points out that each time we perform a habit, we reinforce a particular identity associated with that habit. Clear suggests that the key to creating lasting change is to focus on identity-based habits rather than performance-based habits. Performance-based habits are focused on achieving a particular outcome, while identity-based habits are focused on becoming the type of person who achieves that outcome. To illustrate this concept, Clear shares a story about a man named Eric who was trying to quit smoking. Instead of focusing on the outcome of quitting smoking, Eric decided to focus on becoming a non-smoker. He changed his identity by telling himself and others that he was a non-smoker, which made it easier for him to stick to his new habit. Clear also introduces the concept of keystone habits, which are habits that have a ripple effect on other areas of our lives. For example, someone who establishes a habit of regular exercise may find that they also start eating healthier, sleeping better, and feeling more productive. Finally, Clear argues that changing our habits requires changing our self-image. He suggests that we can do this by taking small steps to align our habits with the identity we want to embody. Over time, these small changes will compound and lead to significant progress. Overall, in this chapter, Clear highlights the importance of focusing on identity-based habits rather than performance-based habits, and suggests that by changing our self-image, we can make lasting changes in our lives. Chapter 3. What matters most, the first step to creating good habits and breaking bad ones. In this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of understanding what drives our behavior. He argues that habits are a response to a craving or desire, and to create good habits or break bad ones, we must address the underlying cause of those desires. Clear introduces the concept of the habit loop, which consists of three components: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue triggers the habit, the routine is the behavior itself, and the reward is the outcome or feeling we get from the behavior. Clear suggests that by understanding our habits and the habit loop, we can identify the cues and rewards that drive our behavior. He offers examples of common cues, such as time of day, location, and emotional state, and encourages readers to reflect on their own habits and identify the cues that trigger them. Clear also introduces the idea of temptation bundling, which involves pairing a habit you want to do with a habit you need to do. For example, you could pair watching your favorite TV show with going to the gym. By doing this, you create a positive association with the habit you want to do, which makes it more likely that you will stick to it. Finally, Clear highlights the importance of creating an environment that supports good habits. He suggests that by making good habits obvious, attractive, and easy, we can increase the likelihood that we will stick to them. For example, if you want to drink more water, you could place a water bottle on your desk as a visual cue and make sure it's always filled and within reach. Overall, in this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of understanding the habit loop and identifying the cues and rewards that drive our behavior. He also suggests that by creating a supportive environment and using temptation bundling, we can make it easier to stick to good habits. Chapter 4. How to build better habits in 4 simple steps. In this chapter, Clear introduces a 4-step process for building better habits. Number 1. Cue. Make it obvious. Number 2. Craving. Make it attractive. Number 3. Response. Make it easy. Number 4. Reward. Make it satisfying. Clear explains that by following this process, we can create a feedback loop that reinforces our habits and makes them more likely to stick. In the first step, make it obvious. Clear suggests that we make our desired habit more visible by using visual cues. For example, if you want to read more, you could leave a book on your nightstand as a reminder to read before bed. In the second step, make it attractive. Clear suggests that we make our desired habit more appealing by linking it to something we already enjoy. For example, if you want to exercise more, you could listen to your favorite music or podcast while you work out. In the third step, make it easy. Clear suggests that we make our desired habit as easy as possible to start. For example, if you want to start meditating, you could start with just 1 minute a day and gradually increase the time. In the fourth step, make it satisfying. Clear suggests that we make our desired habit rewarding by linking it to a positive outcome. For example, if you want to eat healthier, you could focus on how good you feel after eating nutritious foods. Clear also explains that we can use the same 4-step process to break bad habits. By making the habit less obvious, less attractive, more difficult, and less satisfying, we can weaken the habit loop and make it easier to break the habit. Overall, in this chapter, Clear provides a simple and practical 4-step process for building better habits and breaking bad ones. By following this process, we can create a feedback loop that reinforces our habits and makes them more likely to stick. Chapter 5. The best way to start a new habit. In this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of starting small when creating a new habit. He suggests that starting with a small, manageable habit can help us build momentum and increase our chances of success. Clear introduces the concept of the 2-minute rule, which states that we should start with a habit that takes 2 minutes or less to do. For example, if you want to start exercising, you could start by doing just 2 minutes of stretching or a short walk. Clear explains that by starting with a small habit, we make it easier to get started and increase our chances of sticking with it. He also suggests that by focusing on the process rather than the outcome, we can create a sense of satisfaction and progress that can help us stay motivated. Clear also emphasizes the importance of tracking our progress and celebrating small wins. He suggests using a habit tracker to monitor our progress and giving ourselves a small reward for each successful day or week. Finally, Clear acknowledges that starting small can feel counterintuitive, especially when we have big goals in mind. However, he argues that by focusing on the small habits that lead to those goals, we can build momentum and create lasting change. Overall, in this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of starting small when creating a new habit. By starting with a habit that takes 2 minutes or less to do, we can build momentum and increase our chances of success. He also suggests tracking our progress and celebrating small wins to stay motivated. Chapter 6. The secret to getting results that last, identity. In this chapter, Clear introduces the concept of identity-based habits, which focus on changing our beliefs about ourselves and our capabilities, rather than just our behaviors. Clear argues that to create lasting change, we need to focus on our identity and the person we want to become, rather than just the habits we want to adopt. By changing our beliefs about ourselves, we can create a more powerful and lasting source of motivation. Clear suggests that the key to identity-based habits is to focus on small wins that reinforce our desired identity. For example, if we want to become a writer, we could start by writing just one sentence a day, which would help reinforce our identity as a writer. Clear also suggests that we can use external cues, such as visual reminders or social pressure, to reinforce our desired identity. For example, we could join a writing group or display a trophy or certificate that symbolizes our identity as a writer. Clear explains that by focusing on our identity, we can create a sense of ownership and personal responsibility for our habits. Instead of relying on willpower or external motivation, we can tap into our internal motivation and desire to live up to our desired identity. Overall, in this chapter, Clear introduces the concept of identity-based habits, which focus on changing our beliefs about ourselves and our capabilities. By focusing on our desired identity and reinforcing it with small wins and external cues, we can create a more powerful and lasting source of motivation for our habits. Chapter 7. How to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. In this chapter, Clear discusses the importance of designing our environment to make good habits easier and bad habits harder. He suggests that by creating an environment that supports our desired habits, we can make them more likely to stick. Clear introduces the concept of environmental design, which involves making small changes to our physical and social environment to make good habits easier and bad habits harder. For example, if we want to eat healthier, we could make sure our kitchen is stocked with healthy foods and remove any unhealthy snacks. Clear also discusses the concept of habit stacking, which involves linking a new habit to an existing habit. By linking our new habit to an existing habit, we can create a stronger association and make the new habit more automatic. For example, if we want to start meditating, we could link it to brushing our teeth by meditating for 1 minute immediately after brushing. Clear also suggests using temptation bundling, which involves linking a habit we want to do with a habit we already enjoy. For example, if we want to exercise more, we could listen to our favorite podcast or audiobook while we work out. Clear emphasizes the importance of making our environment work for us rather than against us. By designing our environment to make good habits easier and bad habits harder, we can create an environment that supports our desired habits and makes them more likely to stick. Overall, in this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of designing our environment to make good habits easier and bad habits harder. By using environmental design, habit stacking, and temptation bundling, we can create an environment that supports our desired habits and makes them more automatic. Chapter 8. The Cardinal Rule of Behavior Change. Make it satisfying. In this chapter, Clear discusses the importance of making our habits satisfying in order to create a positive feedback loop that reinforces the behavior. Clear explains that the human brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, and that we are more likely to repeat behaviors that are satisfying and rewarding. Therefore, if we want to make a habit stick, we need to make it satisfying in some way. Clear suggests several ways to make a habit satisfying. First, adding an immediate reward. This could be something as simple as giving yourself a high five or saying good job after completing a task. Second, celebrating small wins. By breaking a habit into smaller milestones and celebrating each one, we can create a sense of progress and momentum. Third, making it socha. By sharing our progress with others or joining a group that shares our goals, we can create a sense of community and support. For TH, creating a sense of competition. By tracking our progress and competing against ourselves or others, we can create a sense of motivation and urgency. Clear also emphasizes the importance of making sure the rewards we choose are aligned with our values and goals. If the rewards are not meaningful to us, we are less likely to find the habit satisfying and less likely to stick with it. Overall, in this chapter, Clear stresses the importance of making our habits satisfying in order to create a positive feedback loop that reinforces the behavior. By adding an immediate reward, celebrating small wins, making it social, and creating a sense of competition, we can make our habits more satisfying and increase our chances of success. Chapter 9. The Role of Identity in Habits. In this chapter, Clear discusses the importance of identity in forming and maintaining habits. He argues that lasting change comes from the identity we establish for ourselves, and that our habits are a reflection of our identity. Clear explains that our identity is made up of our beliefs, values, and self-image. Our habits, in turn, are a reflection of our identity. Therefore, if we want to make lasting changes to our habits, we need to start by changing our identity. Clear suggests several ways to shift our identity to support our desired habits. First, focus on the type of person you want to become. Rather than focusing on specific habits or outcomes, focus on the type of person you want to become. Ask yourself, who is the type of person that could achieve these results, and then focus on becoming that person. Second, build identity-based habits. Rather than trying to change behavior with willpower alone, build habits that reinforce your desired identity. For example, if you want to become a runner, start by running just a few minutes each day and gradually building up to longer runs. Third, surround yourself with a supportive group. Surround yourself with people who have the identity you want to cultivate. This can help reinforce your desired identity and make it easier to maintain your habits. Clear also emphasizes the importance of creating an identity that is aligned with our values and beliefs. If our identity is not aligned with our values and beliefs, we are less likely to make lasting changes to our habits. Overall, in this chapter, Clear argues that lasting change comes from our identity, and that our habits are a reflection of our identity. By focusing on the type of person we want to become, building identity-based habits, and surrounding ourselves with a supportive group, we can shift our identity to support our desired habits and make lasting changes. Chapter 10. How to stick to your goals when life gets crazy. In this chapter, Clear acknowledges that life can often get in the way of our goals and habits, and offers strategies for staying on track even when things get hectic. Clear suggests several ways to stay committed to our goals when life gets crazy. First, plan for setbacks. Rather than expecting everything to go smoothly, plan for setbacks and obstacles ahead of time. This way, when things don't go as planned, you are prepared to handle them. Second, establish a minimum viable habit. When life gets busy, it can be difficult to maintain a full routine. Instead, establish a minimum viable habit, the smallest possible version of the habit that you can do every day, so that you can stay on track even when you're short on time. Third, use the 2-minute rule. When you're struggling to get started on a habit, use the 2-minute rule to focus on doing the first 2 minutes of the habit. This can help you build momentum and make it easier to continue the habit. Fourth, create an implementation intention. An implementation intention is a specific plan for when and where you will take action on a habit. By making a specific plan, you are more likely to follow through when things get busy. Clear also emphasizes the importance of being flexible and forgiving when life gets in the way. It's okay to take a break or adjust your habits temporarily, as long as you get back on track when you can. Overall, in this chapter, Clear offers strategies for sticking to our goals and habits even when life gets crazy. By planning for setbacks, establishing a minimum viable habit, using the 2-minute rule, and creating an implementation intention, we can stay on track and maintain our progress. Chapter 11. How to make a habit irresistible. In this chapter, Clear discusses how to make a habit irresistible by tapping into our natural desires and motivations. Clear suggests several ways to make a habit irresistible. First, increase the perceived value. Make the habit more appealing by increasing the perceived value. This could involve adding a social element, making it more enjoyable, or linking it to a desired outcome. Second, make it attractive. Make the habit more visually appealing or enjoyable. This could involve finding a beautiful location to do the habit, adding music, or using a reward system. Third, use temptation bundling. Combine a habit that you want to do with a habit that you need to do, but don't necessarily enjoy. For example, if you love listening to audiobooks but struggle to exercise, only allow yourself to listen to audiobooks while exercising. Fourth, use the power of environment. Alter your environment to make the habit more desirable. This could involve surrounding yourself with people who have the same habit, or creating a space that is dedicated to the habit. Clear also explains that making a habit irresistible is not about relying on willpower, but rather about creating an environment that supports our desired habits. By tapping into our natural desires and motivations, we can make habits that are irresistible and enjoyable. Overall, in this chapter, Clear offers strategies for making habits irresistible by tapping into our natural desires and motivations. By increasing the perceived value, making it attractive, using temptation bundling, and using the power of environment, we can create habits that are enjoyable and easy to maintain. Chapter 12. The secret to getting results that last. In this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of focusing on identity change rather than just behavior change in order to achieve lasting results. Clear suggests several ways to focus on identity change. First, ask yourself who you want to become. Rather than just focusing on the behavior you want to change, ask yourself who you want to become. This can help you create a clear vision of the person you want to be and align your habits with that vision. Second, use affirmations. Use affirmations to reinforce the identity you want to cultivate. For example, instead of saying, "I will exercise more," say, "I am someone who prioritizes my health." Third, surround yourself with a supportive community. Surround yourself with people who embody the identity you want to cultivate. This can help reinforce your own identity and make it easier to maintain your habits. Fourth, change your environment. Alter your environment to support the identity you want to cultivate. This could involve removing items that don't align with your desired identity or creating a physical space that reflects your desired identity. Clear also emphasizes that focusing on identity change is a long-term process that requires patience and persistence. It's not about achieving quick results, but rather about making lasting changes to your identity and behavior. Overall, in this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of focusing on identity change rather than just behavior change in order to achieve lasting results. By asking yourself who you want to become, using affirmations, surrounding yourself with a supportive community, and changing your environment, you can cultivate the identity that will support your desired habits and lead to lasting change. Chapter 13. How to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. In this chapter, Clear introduces the 2-minute rule as a strategy for overcoming procrastination and starting new habits. The 2-minute rule states that you should start with a habit that takes no more than 2 minutes to do. The idea is to make it easy to start a habit and overcome the inertia of procrastination. Once you've started the habit, you can gradually increase the time you spend on it. Clear suggests several ways to apply the 2-minute rule. First, break habits down into smaller pieces. If a habit seems daunting or overwhelming, break it down into smaller pieces that can be done in 2 minutes or less. Second, use the 2-minute rule as a gateway habit. Use the 2-minute rule as a way to kickstart a series of related habits. For example, if you want to start reading more, commit to reading for 2 minutes each day, which may lead to reading for longer periods of time. Third, use the 2-minute rule to make bad habits more difficult. If you want to break a bad habit, use the 2-minute rule to make it more difficult to engage in that habit. For example, if you want to stop watching TV late at night, unplug the TV and make it difficult to turn back on. Clear emphasizes that the 2-minute rule is not a complete solution to procrastination, but rather a way to start new habits and overcome the initial resistance that often prevents us from taking action. By starting small and gradually increasing the time spent on a habit, we can develop lasting changes to our behavior. Overall, in this chapter, Clear introduces the 2-minute rule as a strategy for overcoming procrastination and starting new habits. By breaking habits down into smaller pieces, using the 2-minute rule as a gateway habit, and making bad habits more difficult, we can use the 2-minute rule to create lasting changes to our behavior. Chapter 14. How to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. In this chapter, Clear discusses the importance of creating an environment that makes good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Clear suggests several ways to create an environment that supports good habits. First, automate your habits. Make your good habits as easy as possible by automating them. For example, if you want to drink more water, fill up a water bottle and keep it with you throughout the day. Second, use the power of environment design. Design your environment to make good habits more visible and bad habits less visible. For example, if you want to eat healthier, keep healthy snacks visible and accessible, and hide unhealthy snacks in a cupboard. Third, use commitment devices. Create a commitment device that makes it more difficult to engage in bad habits. For example, if you want to stop watching TV late at night, unplug the TV and put the remote in a difficult-to-reach location. Clear also discusses the concept of temptation bundling, which involves pairing a pleasurable activity with a habit you want to develop. For example, if you enjoy listening to audiobooks, only allow yourself to listen while exercising. Overall, in this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of creating an environment that supports good habits and makes bad habits more difficult. By automating habits, using environment design, using commitment devices, and using temptation bundling, we can create an environment that makes good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Chapter 15. The Cardinal Rule of Behavior Change. In this chapter, Clear introduces what he calls the Cardinal Rule of Behavior Change. That we should focus on changing our systems and processes rather than our goals. Clear argues that while goals are important, they are not enough to create lasting change. Instead, we should focus on building systems and processes that make it easy to achieve our goals. Clear suggests several ways to apply the cardinal rule of behavior change. First, focus on your habits, not your goals. Instead of focusing solely on achieving a specific goal, focus on developing the habits that will help you achieve that goal. Second, make your habits part of your identity. Identify as someone who embodies the habits you want to develop. This will make it easier to maintain those habits over time. Third, measure your progress by tracking your habits. Instead of measuring progress solely by achieving a goal, track your progress by measuring how consistently you're sticking to your habits. Clear also discusses the importance of focusing on the process rather than the outcome. By focusing on the process, we can build momentum and make it easier to achieve our goals. Overall, in this chapter, Clear introduces the cardinal rule of behavior change, that we should focus on changing our systems and processes rather than our goals. By focusing on habits, making them part of our identity, measuring progress by tracking habits, and focusing on the process rather than the outcome, we can create lasting change in our behavior. Chapter 16. How to stick to your goals when life gets crazy. In this chapter, Clear discusses strategies for sticking to your goals even when life gets busy and chaotic. Clear suggests several ways to maintain consistency with your habits and goals, even when life gets crazy. First, be flexible. Recognize that life is unpredictable and be willing to adjust your goals and habits when necessary. Second, scale back. If you're struggling to maintain consistency with your habits, scale back to a more manageable level. It's better to do a little bit consistently than to do nothing at all. Third, focus on the minimum viable effort. Identify the minimum amount of effort you need to put in to maintain your habit and commit to doing that much every day. Clear also suggests several strategies for creating a backup plan for when things don't go according to plan. First, create an implementation intention. Plan for specific situations that may derail your habits and identify how you will respond in those situations. Second, have a contingency plan. Plan ahead for situations that are likely to disrupt your habits and identify alternative actions you can take to maintain consistency. Third, set up a system of accountability. Find a way to hold yourself accountable for maintaining your habits, whether it's through a friend, a coach, or a habit tracker. Overall, in this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of being flexible and adaptable in the face of life's challenges. By scaling back, focusing on the minimum viable effort, and creating a backup plan, we can maintain consistency with our habits and goals, even when life gets crazy. Chapter 17. How an accountability partner can change everything. In this chapter, Clear discusses the power of having an accountability partner to help you achieve your goals and maintain consistency with your habits. Clear suggests that an accountability partner can be anyone who helps you stay on track with your goals and habits, whether it's a friend, family member, coworker, or coach. Clear outlines several benefits of having an accountability partner. First, increased motivation. Knowing that someone is counting on you can be a powerful motivator to stay consistent with your habits. Second, increased consistency. Having someone to hold you accountable can help you stay consistent with your habits, even when you don't feel like it. Third, increased self-awareness. Working with an accountability partner can help you become more aware of your own behavior and thought patterns, which can help you make positive changes. Clear also suggests several strategies for finding and working with an accountability partner, including: first, choose someone who shares your goals and values. Working with someone who has similar goals and values can help ensure that you're both working towards a shared vision. Second, set clear expectations and boundaries. Be clear about what you expect from your accountability partner and what you're willing to offer in return. Third, schedule regular check-ins. Set a regular schedule for checking in with your accountability partner to discuss progress, challenges, and next steps. Overall, in this chapter, Clear emphasizes the power of having an accountability partner to help you achieve your goals and maintain consistency with your habits. By choosing the right partner, setting clear expectations, and scheduling regular check-ins, we can harness the power of accountability to create lasting change in our lives. Chapter 18. The Truth About Talent. In this chapter, Clear explores the role of talent in success and achievement, and debunks some common myths about talent. Clear suggests that talent can be defined as a natural ability or aptitude for a particular skill or activity, and that it can be influenced by both genetic and environmental factors. Clear also suggests that while talent can be helpful in achieving success, it is not a necessary prerequisite for success. In fact, Clear argues that deliberate practice and consistent effort are often more important than innate talent. Clear outlines several key takeaways about talent. First, talent is not the same as skill. While talent may provide a natural ability or aptitude for a particular skill or activity, skill is developed through deliberate practice and consistent effort. Second, genetics can play a role in talent. Some talents, such as height in basketball, may be influenced by genetic factors. However, in many cases, environmental factors play a larger role in the development of talent. Third, effort and deliberate practice are more important than talent. Regardless of innate talent, deliberate practice and consistent effort are often the keys to achieving success and developing skill. Clear also suggests several strategies for developing skill. First, identify your weaknesses. Identify areas where you need to improve and focus your efforts on deliberate practice in those areas. Second, set specific, measurable goals. Set clear goals for what you want to achieve and track your progress towards those goals. Third, focus on process over outcome. Instead of focusing solely on achieving a specific outcome, focus on the process of improving and developing your skills. Overall, in this chapter, Clear challenges the myth that talent is the sole determinant of success and achievement. By recognizing the role of deliberate practice and consistent effort, we can develop the skills and abilities we need to achieve our goals, regardless of innate talent. Chapter 19. The Goldilocks Rule: How to Stay Motivated in Life and Work. In this chapter, Clear introduces the Goldilocks Rule, which suggests that to stay motivated in life and work, we need to find tasks that are not too easy, not too hard, but just right. Clear explains that tasks that are too easy can be boring, while tasks that are too difficult can be overwhelming and demotivating. However, tasks that are just challenging enough can be engaging and motivating. Clear also suggests several strategies for applying the Goldilocks Rule to our lives. First, set specific, challenging goals. Set goals that are just beyond your current abilities, but not so far beyond that they are unattainable. Second, break tasks into manageable chunks. If a task feels overwhelming, break it down into smaller, more manageable parts. Third, focus on progress, not perfection. Instead of focusing solely on achieving a perfect outcome, focus on making progress towards your goals. Clear also suggests that by finding the right level of challenge, we can enter a state of flow, which is a state of deep engagement and focus that can help us achieve our goals more effectively. Overall, in this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of finding the right level of challenge to stay motivated in life and work. By setting specific, challenging goals, breaking tasks into manageable chunks, and focusing on progress rather than perfection, we can find the sweet spot of motivation and achieve our goals more effectively. Chapter 20. The Downsides of High Expectations. In this chapter, Clear explores the downsides of having high expectations and suggests strategies for avoiding these downsides. Clear explains that while high expectations can be motivating, they can also lead to disappointment and frustration if they are not met. In addition, high expectations can also lead to a focus on outcomes rather than process, which can hinder our ability to improve and develop our skills. Clear suggests several strategies for avoiding the downsides of high expectations. First, focus on process, not outcomes. Instead of focusing solely on achieving a specific outcome, focus on the process of improving and developing your skills. Second, set realistic expectations. Set expectations that are challenging but attainable and adjust them as needed based on your progress. Third, embrace failure as part of the learning process. Recognize that failure is a natural part of the learning process and use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Clear also suggests that by focusing on the process of improvement and development, we can cultivate a growth mindset, which is a mindset that focuses on learning and growth rather than fixed abilities. Overall, in this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of setting realistic expectations and focusing on the process of improvement to avoid the downsides of high expectations. By embracing failure as part of the learning process and cultivating a growth mindset, we can develop the skills and abilities we need to achieve our goals. Chapter 21. The Uphill Battle of Sustainable Change. In this chapter, Clear discusses the challenges of sustainable change and the importance of developing habits that can last over the long term. Clear explains that sustainable change requires us to not only make changes in our behaviors, but also to change our identities and beliefs about ourselves. He suggests that we can do this by focusing on small wins and building momentum over time. Clear also emphasizes the importance of being patient and persistent in our pursuit of sustainable change. He suggests that we need to be willing to embrace discomfort and struggle in order to build the habits and identity we desire. Clear suggests several strategies for building sustainable habits. First, focus on identity-based habits. Instead of focusing solely on changing our behaviors, focus on changing our identities and beliefs about ourselves. Second, build habits gradually. Start with small, manageable changes and build momentum over time. Third, embrace discomfort. Recognize that building sustainable habits requires us to embrace discomfort and struggle. Fourth, focus on the process. Instead of focusing solely on the outcome, focus on the process of building sustainable habits. Clear also discusses the concept of the plateau of latent potential, which refers to the idea that we may not see immediate results from our efforts, but that we are still making progress towards our goals. Overall, in this chapter, Clear emphasizes the challenges of sustainable change and the importance of building habits that can last over the long term. By focusing on identity-based habits, building habits gradually, embracing discomfort, and focusing on the process, we can build the habits and identity we desire and achieve our goals over time. Thanks for watching our video about Atomic Habits by James Clear. We hope you found the information valuable and are inspired to take your life to the next level. Remember, sustainable change is possible, and it all starts with small, daily actions. If you're ready to start creating powerful habits that will transform your life, we highly recommend getting a copy of Atomic Habits for yourself. You can purchase the book using the link in the description below and take the first step toward your next level. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more great content. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.